Man, I have to talk to y'all live about this one. So last night, the fight hit me pretty hard with this Edwin De Los Santos Shakur Stevenson fight. It was an underwhelming fight, to say the least. I have to be honest. First I want to shout out Robinson Kosei-Sal for having a great performance last night against Emmanuel Navarrete. He showed heart. It was a great co-main event. And shout out to those fighters for putting on a great performance. Shakur Stevenson, a lot of people aren't talking about a lot of things. I'm not making any excuses for Shakur Stevenson at the end of the day. He's a tremendous fighter, and he underwhelmed us last night. He didn't really show a lot of offense last night. He felt the power from Edwin in round one, in my opinion. He adjusted, and he realized, okay, I don't really want to go in a brawl with this guy. I don't really want to I'm going to outbox him from inside out, and I'm going to just beat him on points. And that's exactly what he did, and he did it fairly easily. And Edwin De Los Santos was never able to adjust ever. He was never able to cut off the ring, and Shakur won easily. So I think we have to put a lot of blame on Edwin De Los Santos' lack of being able to cut off the ring and why it was such a boring fight. We can't completely blame Shakur Stevenson for fighting the right style fight to win that fight last night. I've seen fighters like Andre Ward and Terrence Crawford adjust to their opponents and fight boring fights. I've seen them get booed before. So, things like that, you have to take into account. A lot of times in boxing, for some reason, which is really unfortunate, is when a fighter like Shakur Stevenson has a bad, horrible performance like he did last night, a lot of his fans are going to turn on him. A lot of fans are going to say he's not ready for Devin Haney. He's not ready for he's not ready for Gervonta Davis. And people are going to turn their backs. When Damian Lillard has a bad basketball game and he drops 8 points, do people say they hate Damian Lillard, or do they wait 2 days later and he drops 30 and he's back to being great again? The unfortunate thing about boxing is we have to wait 7 to 8 months until we probably see Shakur Stevenson again. And based on this lackluster, boring, underwhelming performance, a lot of people are not going to want to wait or want to hear that name again. But I'm here to tell you that I saw great defensive prowess from him. I thought defensively he was absolutely outstanding. Defensively. And that has to account for something, in my opinion. He has to let his hands go more. I'm not making any excuses for him, but I don't think this should be the end of Shakur Stevenson at all. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, a lot of fighters after this horrible performance, we're talking smack. You know what I mean? A lot of fighters were talking smack. You had Devin Haney going on Twitter and saying 25% was too generous. I should have offered you 10%. You got fighters really talking smack and using this to their advantage. You got Ryan Garcia coming out and saying that I didn't see anything, Shakur Stevenson stalling. But, Ryan Garcia quit in 7 rounds versus Gervonta Davis. He showed how unsmart of a fighter he was by throwing those unorthodox left hooks and actually trying to set something up and being a smart fighter against Gervonta. So he showed his lack of So, fighters have bad performances all the time. So I really think we got to cut Shakur some slack. I hear some people saying that Shakur sucks. He's terrible. He's boring. I don't want to hear his name ever again. And that's just too harsh. And there's a lot of casuals out there. And I just want to be the first to let you guys know that don't come back to the team Shakur when he puts on a great performance in his next fight because he had a bad performance in this one. Stick to your gun. If you were mad at his performance, stay there. And that's all I got to say. You know what I'm saying? And I'm tired of boxing fans being one way in one day, and then the next they're completely against you. So that's really my opinion on it. It was a bad performance from Shakur Stevenson last night. Very boring fight, but I absolutely think he can come back from this. Fighters come back from bad performances all the time, and that's the most important thing here, because if he couldn't come back, then I would let you guys know. But I think he's truly a great fighter. Another thing that people aren't talking about is the amount of pressure that was on Terrence Crawford. That was on Shakur Stevenson. He had Terrence Crawford, Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, Michael B. Jordan, all these guys come into your locker room. I just feel like Shakur needs to take care of business and focus on what's at hand. And since he didn't do that, there was a lot of pressure on him. Not making any excuses for him, but sometimes you just got to go out there and fight. You know what I'm saying? This is Edwin De Los Santos, not Gervonta Davis. Have Crawford and Ward and all those guys walk you out when you fight Tanker Haney, not when you fight Edwin De Los Santos. So to me, it's just a lot that goes into this. But The main thing at hand is when you are a fan of one of these fighters, you stay with these fighters and you stay a fan with them. You don't turn on these fighters because of one bad performance. That makes you a fake fan. And we don't respect that in the game of boxing. And that's what I have to say.